Hi, Nick from Exos and Eja here. Today we're up on Dartmoor to take the Osprey Exos 55 Pro for a walk. Right, so we've made it to a nice little spot out on the moor, and I thought it'd be a good time to have a chat about the back system of this pack. So the Exos Pro has got an airspeed back system, you can see here. So fully ventilated, it's sprung as well, so it's really comfortable next to your back. Really smooth. It's got a silicone gripper at the bottom there, which stops the bag moving around as you walk. Your hips move a little bit, so that silicone gripper really stops the bag jigging up and down, especially if you're walking a little bit faster. So the back system itself has got a ladder lock system. As you can see, to adjust the height on it, you simply push these toggles out, adjust the straps down or up, however you want them. There's about 4 or 5 inches of total adjustment, which is really good. So once you've decided upon the correct back length, simply pop the toggles through and away you go. Your back system does not move anymore. This is a small medium size. I'm 5'9" and I'm just on the edge of it fitting me. So I'd say if you're above 5'9", you want to go into the medium large. The harness itself, they call it an exoform harness. It's basically some moulded EVA padding that's fully aerated. You can see there's some mesh here, and the padding inside the foam has holes all over it. So essentially it's much more breathable. Still really comfortable. The foam itself maybe 3/4 of an inch thick at its thickest point. I've had absolutely no problems with that. I think it's really comfy. Same with the waist belt. The waist belt, again, it's the same kind of foam, loads of holes over it, all meshed, ventilated. So really the whole back system's designed to be super comfy, super mobile, and really breathable. So you also get an adjustable sternum strap on this one, slightly different than the standard Exos, which it slides. On this one you've got a few loops instead, which you can adjust the strap up and down on. You can also fit a bladder attachment to that, which is good if you've got a magnet and a bladder. One difference between this and the Eja version, which is the ladies version, is that this harness differs in width across the top to account for women being slightly narrower across the shoulders than men, and these shoulder straps are very slightly narrower as well, so that's a nice little feature there to make the Eja Pro a bit more tailored towards the ladies fit. Okay, so enough of the back system. Now we're going to carry on our walk and hopefully find a nice little spot to stop and set up a camp. Okay, so we found a nice little spot to make camp for the evening. So just going to take the pack off and start pitching the tent and getting everything else laid out. And then we'll talk about some of the specs and the materials and the features of the pack itself. So that'll be good. First things first, I'm going to need to put some insulation on because it's getting a bit chilly now. And yeah, so I'll speak to you in a minute once I've made camp. Right, so let's have a look and see what we've got in the Exos 55 Pro. So I've just walked in, it's probably about 12 kilos worth of stuff. I'm carrying pretty much everything you'd need for 2 people for a camp out for the night. So you could go a lot lighter than what's in here, but it's just a good example to show that this pack really is pretty big, and it can carry a lot of weight comfortably. So I've got some camp shoes, I've got an AeroPress Go, I've got all my spare clothes in there for the night, waterproof, insulated, spare base layer. I've got a jet boil with some gas for my coffee. I've got a couple of camp pillows. I've got a Thermarest NXT, a Thermarest Uberlight. I've got the tent ground sheet. I've got a big Agnes Tiger Wall 2, great little tent for 2 people that, especially when you're going light. Got a couple of luxury items, which is, you don't really need to carry these, Helinox chairs. So there's 2 Helinox chairs in there, but they certainly make for a comfy evening, especially if you're planning on hanging around for a bit longer in the evening or setting up camp early. I've got a Neutrino 400 and another Neutrino 400. Then we've got a couple of litres of water and a bladder that are sat in the bladder pocket there. We've got a litre bottle and a filter. You never know when you're going to need those. Got some trekking poles from Black Diamond, really nice pair of poles those. Map, never want to go anywhere without a map. Couple of dried meals, and then there's a whole lot of stuff in the lid pocket, all bits and bobs. I won't chuck all that out, but head torch, hat, gloves, all sorts of bits, useful things for the night. Cool, okay, so we've made camp here on the moor, so that's nice. So let's run through a few of the tech specs of this pack. I'll try and talk a little bit about how it compares to the standard Exos range as well. So yeah, so this Exos Pro 55, obviously 55 litres. In a small medium, it weighs 950 grams. So a standard Exos 58, which is a tiny bit bigger obviously, weighs nearly 1300 grams. So one of the big things here is that this pack is really light. To be fair, it's almost exactly 2 dried meals lighter than a standard Exos for the same volume, which is pretty good. So you're carrying not a day's worth of food, but it's not far off free due to the weight saving that they've made on this pack. So the Exos Pro 55, they use 100 denier nanofly fabric on this bag compared to, well, it's still 100 denier on the standard Exos, but this pack is definitely lighter. The fabric feels a little bit more robust, so I'd hope that it'll be more durable than the standard pack, and that's partly where they save some weight. This nanofly fabric, I think, per square metre is lighter than the standard fabric they use on the normal Exos, so that's an upgrade. There are a few feature differences with this pack. So on a standard Exos, the pocket on the front that I've got my hands in now has stretch all over the front of it, which is okay, but this one's got these big stretchy side panels on the side. So when the pack's completely stuffed full, it's really a little bit easier to get something into the pocket itself, which I think is an upgrade. I really do think that's an upgrade. So I'd say that's a plus point on the Pro. On the lid, itself, it's exactly the same as the standard Exos. It comes off, it's got a buckle system at the back, so you can take the lid off, and then you can use the flap jacket inside as a secondary lid. If you don't want to carry that, that saves you about 75 grams, I think. So you can get the pack down to about 875 instead of 950 if you're really that obsessed with the weight and saving that weight, or you just don't need the extra storage space. This pocket itself, the lid, is massive. I mean, I've got an absolute ton of stuff in here. I've got all the little bits and bobs you'd want for camping, so some pillows, some coffee, head torch, compass, everything really, you know, an absolute ton of stuff. I'd say it's probably 4 or 5 litres in size at least, so really, really roomy. One thing it doesn't have is a zipped internal security pocket like on the standard Exos, so that's a feature it misses. These side pockets, they are different to the standard Exos. They're slightly deeper, so I think they're 2 or 3 inches higher up the pack, and they do feel a bit stretchier. I mean, they are massive. I can roll that tent up and put it down this side pocket. That's how big it is. Standard practice kind of thing is, you know, I mean, that's a litre bottle, but you could drop a 2 litre bottle in there really easy. So if you've got to carry a whole lot of extra water, absolutely fine there. Other bits and bobs, the hip belt pockets, they're slightly different. So the fabric is a little bit softer. This is zipped like a standard Exos. Decent size, you can fit a phone in there if you want. I particularly like this stretchy one on the side. It just makes access a lot easier. It means you can go into it with the hand on the same side, whereas when they've got a zip, you tend to have to cross your hand over to get into them, especially if you want to do the zip up and undo it while you're wearing the pack. And there's a few other things that this Exos Pro doesn't have, and that is a quick pole stash like you get on the standard Exos, and you also don't get pole holders on the back of the pack. So that's not really a problem because, again, as I said before, these side pockets are massive. You can fit your poles down the side there. You can still get a litre bottle down there. I can get my water filter in there. Crikey, I could probably get this. Yeah. So I can get that AeroPress Go in there as well. They're cavernous. They're really cavernous. So, yeah, really a lot of storage there. So I walked in and before I set up, I had about 12 kilos in this pack, including water. It's rated up to about 16 kilos, I think, for a comfort of carry. I'd say it would be fine at 16 kilos. It's certainly really comfy at 12. You know, this pack is designed for light hikers, i.e. people that are trying to go ultralight. So do you want to be carrying more than 12 kilos? Probably not. So, yeah, overall, I think the specs and all the features on it pretty much hit the mark. I can't say that it's missing anything that I'd really want. So, yeah, I think it's a bit of an upgrade to the standard Exos. And if you're in the market for an ultra lightweight pack, certainly give this one a look. So that was a quick look at the Exos and Eja 55 Pro. If you want any more information, just visit our website and please check out our YouTube channel for more videos.